Hey everybody! I saw a comment from R.A. Raziel, aka Michael Brown, in the Astral Irma chat. If you're not part of the Astral Irma chat, get in there and let's see what you got. Anyway, he says that he needs help with a couple of dreams. He entered the astral and he saw, a spider, forming webs, and he saw some slug-like beings that were bright green and all this stuff. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about this. When you are first entering the astral, facing your shadows is what's going to happen. Okay, when you first enter the astral, before you truly find your footing or you establish your bearings, you are often confronted, which can only be described as your shadows. These are not always literal shadows, but rather representations of unresolved fears, repressed emotions, and deep-seated subconscious patterns that are surfacing in symbolic form. For many, these shadows appear as creatures that trigger an instinctive reaction: spiders, invertebrates, slugs, worms, snakes, or other unsettling beings. Ghosts even, stuff like that. It may even take on strange or grotesque shapes that feel designed to disturb or provoke you. These are meant to get you to react. Okay? When you're in the astral, you don't want to react. You don't want to flinch. Okay? You want to be in control, you want to be sober, and you want to be calm. This stage of getting into the astral in the beginning and facing your shadows is crucial, because the astral is not just a playground. It is a mirror. It reflects the contents of your subconscious mind and current energetic state. When you step into this plane, you're effectively stepping into a realm where your mental and emotional vibrations create the environment around you. If there are unresolved fears within you, the astral will bring them forward, not as punishment, but as a test and an opportunity. This is the real work. This is the real shadow work. It's not about flying around or exploring at first. Okay? Yes, you get to fly around and explore the pretty dreamscapes and go out in nature and do all these amazing things soon. But in the beginning, it's not all that. The first step is becoming truly lucid and capable in the astral is about facing yourself. When you encounter these shadowy forms, the response will shape your path forward. If you choose fear, if you run, fight blindly, or give into panic, your environment will become denser and darker because it reflects what you're putting out. If you fight, it's going to reflect you fighting. If you're calm, it's going to reflect you being calm. If you can be calm and you can visualize nature, you can visualize a mountaintop, then that is where you're going to be. That's the experience that you want. Fear acts like a glue in the astral. It keeps you heavy and stuck and it limits your perception. This is all about your frequency range of perception, whether it's going to be limited or whether it's going to be expanded. Okay? On the other hand, if you meet these shadows with courage, curiosity, and compassion, something profound happens. The shapes often change, they dissolve, or they reveal their true form, which is often a part of your own energy trying to get your attention. The decisions you make in these moments directly influence your future. Okay? It influences your future abilities to get lucid. This is because lucidity, true awareness in the astral, is a state of inner stability and clarity. When you can stand in front of a terrifying creature and choose to stay calm, observe, or even engage it without judgment, you are demonstrating mastery over your emotional reactions. People, this is what it's all about. Each time you do this, you strengthen the part of your consciousness that remains awake and aware in these subtle realms. In contrast, each time you give into fear, you will reinforce the habits that keep you unconscious or reactive, which can make it harder for you to stay lucid or even re-enter the astral with clarity in the future. So why does this matter? Facing shadows in the astral. That's what we're talking about here. Okay? How to do it. How to face your astral shadows. The astral is layered and nuanced. At first, you may only have access to lower, denser astral regions where fear-based forms dominate. These are like the swamps of your subconscious. They're sticky, confusing, full of trickster energies. But once you pass these initial tests and face your shadows, the environment shifts. Higher astral realms open up. Realms of light, beauty, and expansive awareness where you can explore, learn, and create with intention. This is where I want you guys to get to. This is where I'm at. This is where others are at. Okay? This is where we need to get to as a collective. However you reach these states, you have to prove that to you, not only to yourself, not to anybody else, that you are not easily manipulated by fear. So here's the practical advice. When you see these shadowy beings, stop and observe. Ask yourself, what part of me does this represent? Remember that nothing in the astral can harm you unless you give it power through your fear. Try sending it love or curiosity. Watch how the form changes. If you cannot handle it, retreat gently and come back when you feel stronger. Okay? Don't have a shadowy experience, a scary experience, and then say, no, I'm never going to go back in the astral. As soon as you do that, you are making a huge mistake. You might never enter the astral again. Okay? Does this stuff make sense to you guys? Does it make sense? And what I say makes sense? Please let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, support. Thank you.